2020 has come to an end and 2021 is right around the corner. You know what that means? More video games, and the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo in general is looking very epic for 2021. But January is starting off a little bit slow, but even though it's starting off slow, I still have several awesome games coming to the Nintendo Switch in January 2021 that I want to tell you all about in today's video. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's start things off with a budget title, being a game called Charge Kid, releasing on January 6th, digitally only for $2.49. Charge Kid is a minimalistic 2D puzzle platformer where you have the ability to fire an energy bullet which enables you to boost through obstacles and solve puzzles. Each jump is a puzzle as you figure out how to use the mechanics and physics to make it through each level with precise platforming, and it is a difficult game. I've always enjoyed small minimalistic games like this, and Charge Kid looks like a pretty fun game, and hell, for $2.49, which is less than a price of a coffee at Starbucks, why not try out Charge Kid when it releases on January 6th. Next up is Iris.Fall, releasing on January 7th, digitally for $19.99 and physically for $39.99. Iris.Fall is a unique puzzle adventure game filled with mystery and wonder with its striking monochrome art style and unique light and shadow mechanic. You take on the role of Iris as she follows a black cat into an old theater only to find there is a connection to her in the theater to uncover. The art style is a beautiful black and white cartoon style with stark contrasts between light and shadow, which you also use within the story and puzzles as you pass between 2D and 3D realities. Iris.Fall is a very intriguing looking puzzle adventure game, and the art style certainly has my attention, and you can check it out when it releases on January 7th. Next up is Stardash, releasing on January 7th, digitally only for $9.99. I'm always on the lookout for games that really capture the retro look and feel of older consoles, and Stardash looks like it is straight out of the Game Boy era with its graphics, music, and gameplay. Stardash is an incredibly difficult retro-style 2D platformer where you have to platform your way through levels packed full of enemies, traps, and obstacles. You have infinite lives, and when you die, you immediately restart to encourage just one more try. You can also unlock special levels by finding hidden keys, as well as unlocking flip mode for each level by beating it within a certain time and collecting all the coins. Stardash looks like a really fun and hard 2D platformer that really captures the magic of the Game Boy, and I cannot wait to try it out when it releases on January 7th. Next up is Wrestling Empire, releasing on January 11th, digitally only for $19.99. Wrestling Empire is a wrestling game that attempts to capture the magic of old school Nintendo 64 wrestling games on the Nintendo Switch. In Wrestling Empire, you will be able to play a career mode and create a wrestler on a journey with up to 350 opponents with 10 different rosters as you battle through your career. Some of the other features include simulation-style gameplay with contract negotiations and weekly news reports, a unique and transition-filled animation system, different camera angles, a great tutorial, the ability to design matches and arenas, and of course local multiplayer for up to 4 players. Get ready to relive the Nintendo 64 wrestling game glory days when Wrestling Empire releases on January 11th. Next up is Life-of-Fly on January 14th, digitally only for $14.99. In Life-of-Fly, you will experience 12 short stories centered around the life and mind of a fly wrapped up in a chill narrative flying game. You will be exploring large, expansive human environments while collecting your thoughts as you fly around each story, and each fly will talk about its life and what has happened to it. This is very much a storytelling game as you fly around, and I've always been intrigued by games like this. Sometimes it's nice to just relax with a simplistic game that tells interesting stories, and Life-of-Fly seems to check those boxes, and you can check it out when it releases on January 14th. Next up is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Complete Edition, releasing on January 14th, digitally only for $14.99. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, is legendary because it became the prime example showing the cons of digital-only gaming, as it was released digitally only and then got pulled from the digital marketplace for various reasons, making it impossible to purchase up until now. It is finally getting re-released on all consoles thanks to Ubisoft, which is a damn miracle. It is a 2D arcade beat-em-up game inspired by the Scott Pilgrim comic book series and movie, and the complete edition includes all original DLC and add-on packs. You will be able to play as several iconic Scott Pilgrim characters such as Scott Pilgrim, Ramona Flowers, Steven Stills, Knives Chow, and more as you level up each character and their abilities while beating up enemies. You can play multiplayer with up to 3 people both locally and online, as well as play fun mini-games. There are plenty of secrets to unlock and different modes to play through, and this game is just full of awesomeness. Get ready for the re-release of a classic and fun beat-em-up when Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Complete Edition releases on January 14th. Next up is Rhythm Fighter, releasing on January 14th digitally only for $16.99. Rhythm Fighter is a roguelike side-scrolling action game where you have to fight to the beat in order to defeat your enemies. At its core, it is a 2D roguelike game, but it also incorporates rhythm into the equation, requiring you to move, roll, fight, and more to the beats of the music in randomly generated stages with hundreds of skills and weapons to utilize. There will be multiple heroes to choose from with different designs, skills, and features, resulting in a nice bit of variety in the gameplay. Prepare to fight to the beat of the music when Rhythm Fighter releases on January 14th. Next up is Ghostanoid, releasing on January 21st, digitally only for $6.99. Ghostanoid is like Pong, where you will be moving a paddle back and forth while hitting a ball throughout the stage with the goal of hitting all the ghosts in each level. There are 3 different worlds with 75 levels and 3 secret levels, along with 13 different upgrades and downgrades for your paddle. Some of the other features include crisp HD graphics, awesome special effects, surround sound, plenty of objects to destroy, and more. So if you are a fan of Pong and Breakout style games, then be sure to check out Ghostanoid when it releases on January 21st. Next up is Adverse, releasing on January 22nd, digitally only for $5.99. Adverse is an arcade style first-person shooter platformer. You will be able to fluidly move, jump, and shoot enemies across 8 different worlds and 40 levels. You will need to try to get the highest score in each level, as this is an arcade style game. There are in-game leaderboards with multi-layered scoring systems. Adverse looks pretty fun and intriguing, and first-person platformers always catch my eye because if done correctly they can be a blast, and we'll find out when Adverse releases on January 22nd. Next up is Bladed Fury, releasing on January 22nd, digitally only. I was not able to locate a price. If you know that, throw that in the comments down below. I did manage to find a physical version of the game being released for $39.99, and it's already out on PC and it is highly rated. Bladed Fury is an indie 2D action game heavily inspired by Chinese history and mythology. You take on the role of Ji as she is exiled and sets out to get revenge. Bladed Fury has an incredible hand-drawn art style that really pops off the screen. The combat is fast and fluid while being easy to learn and hard to master. There is a soul silver system with plenty of depth, and it changes the pace often to keep combat interesting. It has a very positive rating on Steam out of a few thousand reviews, and to me it looks like a pretty fun and badass little indie action game. Prepare for some fast-paced action when Bladed Fury releases on January 22nd. Next up is Redout Space Assault, releasing on January 22nd, digitally only. I wasn't able to find a price. If you know that, throw it in the comments down below. Redout Space Assault is an arcade dogfighting space shooter where your job is to destroy rebels and space pirates while also protecting personnel and scientists. You will be diving down into huge asteroid mining plants while barrel rolling to avoid enemy shots and destroying rebel fighters and drones with your own missiles. When you complete a mission, you obtain cards and tokens to upgrade your ship in various ways. Some of the other features include a career mode, several different locations to battle in, deep and tactical gameplay that requires fast reflexes, tons of upgradable weapons at your disposal, the ability to upgrade your ship in a ton of ways, and a fantastic soundtrack that changes as you play depending on what is happening. We don't see many games like this these days, and Redout Space Assault looks pretty promising when it releases on January 22nd. Next up is Cyber Shadow, releasing on January 26th, digitally only for $19.99. Cyber Shadow is the new game published by Yacht Club Games and developed by Mechanical Head Studios, and it is a throwback to classic 8-bit ninja games, in particular the Ninja Gaiden games. You will run, dash, jump, and slice your way through phenomenally designed levels full of enemies, traps, obstacles, and platforming with detailed sprites, fantastic pixel art, precise controls, fluid animation, and parallax scrolling backgrounds. There will be over 12 huge bosses to take down, plenty of secrets to find as you explore, and throughout the game you will unlock permanent ninja skills and abilities. I love the older Ninja Gaiden games on the NES, and most recently the game The Messenger, so I'm incredibly excited for Cyber Shadow, and I cannot wait to play it when it releases on January 26th. Next up is Martian Forest, Mylne and the Forest Gift, releasing on January 28th. I wasn't able to find a price. If you know that, throw it in the comments down below. It's already out on the PC and it is highly rated. Marchen Forest is a 3D free-roaming adventure game where you play as Mylne as you go on a journey to become a master apothecary. You will be exploring a large world, gathering ingredients to create potions. There are many games to play, such as trivia and fishing, and even go on dungeon crawling. You will be playing through the game multiple times, as apparently all you have to do is craft a potion to complete the game, but each time you do, you will unlock new acts and areas. Not sure how all that's going to work. This doesn't really look like my type of game, but I could see it appealing to a lot of people, and it did receive very positive reviews on Steam. You can check out Marchen Forest, Mylne and the Forest Gift when it releases on January 28th. Next up is Heaven's Vault, releasing on January 28th, digitally only for $24.99. It's already out on the PC and PS4, and it is highly rated. Heaven's Vault is a story-based adventure game about deciphering an ancient language and discovering a forgotten past. The art style is very beautiful and unique as it contains hand-drawn 2D art in a detailed 3D environment. As you explore, you will utilize a puzzle mechanic to translate the various ancient hieroglyphic languages you find throughout the adventure. This is a third-person open-world game, and you will be exploring ruins, dig sites, and more, as well as using your ship, the Nightingale, to explore the rivers of space. You'll explore ruined palaces, desert moons, market towns, and farming villages as you forge your own path and interact with a huge cast of characters. Heaven's Vault looks like a fantastic game, and again, it is already highly rated, and I think it's worth checking out when it releases on January 28th. Next up is Olija, releasing January 28th digitally only for $14.99. Olija is a 2D pixel art style game about a man shipwrecked and trapped in a strange land of terraphage. You will be exploring while experiencing the narration and precise combat in this game inspired by sailors' legends and Asian fantasy. You will utilize the Harpoon of Legend in platforming puzzles and combat, as well as craft magic hats. I have to admit, this game looks pretty fun and interesting to me, and I'm looking forward to it when it releases on January 28th. Next up is Ghostanoid, releasing on January 29th, digitally only. I wasn't able to find a price. If you know that, let me know in the comments down below. Ghostanoid is a 3D hack and slash adventure game where you take on the role of a group of 8 warriors that set out to destroy the gods that rule humanity through fear and torture. As you pursue each ancient god, you will fight through their dangerous lairs, taking on their minions as you pursue the god in each location. Each of the 8 warriors in your clan have weapon types exclusive to them with their own unique skills and items. Each warrior will feel different. The world you will explore is full of terror, stunning terrain, and evil creatures to conquer. The combat gameplay is easy to learn but difficult to master, and do not expect an easy game as the challenge will be high in Ghostanoid. Ghostanoid looks like a badass game that is right up my alley, so I may be picking this one up when it releases on January 29th. And the final game in today's video is Colossus Down, releasing sometime in January. If you know the exact release date, throw that in the comments down below. Releasing digitally only for $17.99, and it's already out on the PC and Xbox One. Here's a game that sort of reminds me of Castle Crashers, but with an art style inspired by Adventure Time. Colossus Down is a narrative-driven action beat-em-up game where you take on the role of Nika in her mech. You have access to weapons such as a saw, electro ray, grenade launcher, and mass propellant. You will gain scrap metal to upgrade and unlock new attacks. You have the ability to absorb enemy damage and transform it into heat to use in combat. There's also a local co-op mode, so you and a friend or family member can team up. Some of the other features include combos in battle, 8 special attacks, levels that contain platforming, puzzle, and even shoot 'em up sections. There are 18 different levels in total with 4 different alternate endings. So grab a friend and get ready for action when Colossus Down releases sometime in January. Well, there you have it, folks. Several awesome games coming to the Nintendo Switch in January 2021. The games that I'm most excited for are Heaven's Vault, Stardash, Cyber Shadow, Ghostanoid, Iris.Fall, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game complete edition. But I want to know in the comments down below, what games coming out on the Switch in January are you most excited for? Also, let me know in the comments down below if there are any that I missed that I should have covered in today's video. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure and smash that like button. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so that you can join the RetroWolf family. And as always, folks, stay safe out there, keep playing games and having a good time, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.